development, it can be very, very subjective. But I think that there are general conceptualizations of what development means. The first really speaks to the idea of development as freedom, as advanced by Amartya Sen, and really underlines that development is a means to an end. Is a means to achieving, the articulation of freedoms of individuals, freedoms from want and fear and all of that in a society. And so the state's ability to conceptualize development and implement development policy in a way that enables the articulations of freedom in society is pretty much underlined by that theory of development as freedom. The second idea broadly speaks to debates around human security and development, and that security is not only being viewed through the prism of state security, but it's about the security of individuals. So basically, security transcends the state to looking at how the electorate are secure economically, are secure socially, are secure politically. And then the third school of thought really, I think, links development to democracy. The question is, to what extent is development achieved through democracies or the dispensation of democracy? And so the whole notion of the consent of the governed and the extent to which a government of the people, by the people, for the people enables real development and enables participation of individuals in the development processes of that country. Our chapter is looking at the political economy of intrastate conflicts, but primarily reflecting on the debates that have been advanced to explain, intrastate conflicts, things like genocides, insurgencies, and civil wars on the African continent as far back as the 1960s, and maybe also looking at the evolution of those conflicts from the 60s, the post-colonial period, the 90s, where there was a wave of democratization on the African landscape and a reconstitution of the state somewhat, to look at how those civil wars or intrastate conflicts have evolved, and whether the processes of state building from the 60s to the 90s had an impact on mitigating conflicts or reducing their probabilities. We also look at the more contemporary forms of insurgencies or intrastate conflicts in quotation marks to really interrogate the reasons why insurgencies, revolutions, and social unrests take place in modern day politics in 2011. Why you had the Arab Spring in North Africa, for example. What kind of ideas can be used to explain what we see as the re-emergence of a different kind of conflict in modern day politics. So what we envisage as a value add in this chapter is to use the African experience in really analyzing the different evolutions of the different conflicts, and perhaps seek to identify some commonalities with experiences elsewhere. Coming here to the IDRC's office and really meeting with, policy oriented people, researchers and academics, to exchange a wide array of views on political economy issues that take place in Africa and elsewhere, and see what their line of thinking is regarding the politics of where I come from, was very, very enriching for me. A meeting of the mind somewhat, and a very good opportunity to engage each other on debates, to see where we have commonalities, where we can learn from each other, and maybe also identify other areas for future research.